Sydney, Australia, the police in Tasmania are investigating a possible assault on former Prime Minister Tony Abbott, who said in an interview that a same-sex marriage supporter had butted him Thursday in Hobart. Mr. Abbott, an outspoken opponent of same-sex marriage, first told the story to 2GB, a Sydney radio station. He was walking to his hotel after a meeting with a local newspaper when a man wearing a Vote Yes badge yelled his name. He says, "I want to shake your hand." I went over to shake his hand. Then, he headbutted me, Mr. Abbott said. Now, he wasn't good at it, I've got to say, but he did make contact. The exchange left him with a minor swollen lip, he said. On Friday morning in Hobart, Mr. Abbott repeated his account in a news conference. Mr. Abbott said that a member of his staff grappled with the man, who then ran off. He held up the encounter as an example of ugliness in the debate around the postal vote coming from supporters of same-sex marriage. "There's not much love coming from the yes quarters towards people who have the temerity to disagree," he said, referring to their love is love motto. "I think we've come to a pretty sorry pass if that's where modern Australia is." In a news conference Friday morning, Commander Tony Serratelli from the Tasmania Police confirmed they were investigating the case and had contacted Mr. Abbott after becoming aware of the claims. Mr. Abbott has filed a formal complaint and the police were in the process of working to secure security footage, Commander Serratelli said. They had no new developments to report but had already spoken to a number of people, he revealed, without going into further detail. He described the assailant as a man, approximately 40, of medium build, between 5'9" and 5'11", with short, spiky, sandy strawberry-colored hair, facial piercings on the nose and ears, and wearing a black leather jacket. Commander Serratelli urged anyone who had information about the case to come forward. "We would particularly like to hear from the other man who was allegedly involved in the incident," he said. Although no one has been charged, campaigners on both sides have roundly condemned acts of violence. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull told 3A, a Melbourne radio station, on Friday morning that he had spoken to Mr. Abbott and to the Federal Police Commissioner. "This is a disgraceful incident, and I condemn this assault on Tony," he said, adding, "Any violence coming into our political life is absolutely to be condemned." He called for those on both sides to exercise caution and restraint. Alex Greenwich, a New South Wales lawmaker who is a co-chairman of the advocacy group Australian Marriage Equality, wrote on Twitter that there was absolutely no place for violence in the debate over same-sex marriage. Bill Shorten, the Labour opposition leader and another supporter of same-sex marriage, also wrote on Twitter that the violence was unacceptable. The allegations follow reports of other violence. In Brisbane this month, a man was charged with a public nuisance offence, accused of having punched the godson of former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, a Yes campaign supporter, in the face. Mr. Abbott is in Tasmania to meet with representatives campaigning against same-sex marriage, including a Tasmanian Liberal Party Senator, Eric Abbott. The results of the same-sex marriage postal survey, which is non-binding and asks whether the law should be changed to allow same-sex couples to marry, will be announced by the Australian Bureau of Statistics on November 15.